What have we just witnessed? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cue the Chat podcast. My name is Sean Lynch, and it is currently like 20 to 12 at night, so I'm gonna be quite quiet in this episode because all the sane people in my house have gone to sleep. But what a match we have just witnessed! 10-9, Lei Pei Fan, final frame. Lei went 2-0 up in the first session, then Kyron won 6 on the spin to make it to 6-2. Then Lei Pei Fan won the last frame of the session to bring it to 6-3, and then from there he went from 6-2 down to 8-6 up. It was just a match of peaks and troughs, and then we come down to it. Lei Pei Fan is in to win the match. I think it was 9-7 or 9-8. He's in. He misses a relatively routine red to the middle pocket. Hits the middle pocket bump. Goes all the way up into the yellow pocket. How has it happened? It looked like the fluke that was going to knock Kyron the Warrior Wilson out of the World Championship. But no. Lei Pei Fan only needed 2 more pots. He had the cue ball on the right hand side cushion. The red was just out from the cushion. A nasty little cutback. And he misses it. Hits the cushion, overcuts it. He was 2 balls away from winning. Kyron Wilson goes on a rampage. He plays some strange shots, it must be said. Especially in the safety department. I mean, he played one shot where he kind of just invited Lei Pei Fan to pot a ball. It was a difficult ball, and Lei Pei Fan, in fairness to Kyron Wilson, Lei Pei Fan did miss it. But he nearly gave up the World Championship by basically trying to goat him into playing a shot. I didn't really understand it, but I do respect it. I respect that he's trying to think outside the box, but some of his safety play was absolutely appalling. He admitted afterwards that the weight of being the world champion did all get a bit much for him. He had built it all up as this is gonna be my year. You know, he'd done TikToks where he was like breaking mirrors and walking under ladders and opening windows or not windows, the what are they called, umbrellas inside. He'd done everything that somebody asked him to do. He did it, and I think in the end it all just became a little bit too much for him. Everybody was watching Kyron Wilson, expecting him to beat Lei Pei Fan. I think that everybody, maybe except for Lei Pei Fan himself, was expecting Kyron Wilson to beat Lei Pei Fan. But Lei Pei Fan has done it. He is the first man through to the second round. 10-9 against Kyron Wilson. This match is the only reason that I've made this podcast. Because, as I said, I was going to come back at some point of the weekend. But I was going to do Sunday, maybe Monday, once we had a few more results. But that match, I just had to come back. I'm after getting a rotten cold as well. So I do apologise. If I sound a bit strange. But there were some other matches that started opposite the Wilson Pei Fan game in the morning. Zhao Gudong was playing against Matt Selt. Gudong went 2-0 up against Matt Selt. That's all that I really know about the match. Because it was on opposite the Wilson Pei Fan game, I wasn't really watching it. I was on work anyway, so I wasn't really meant to be watching the snooker. But yeah, it's looking good for Gudong to make it through. Then in the afternoon session, Mark Williams went 3-0 up against Wu Yize, and then Wu Yize made it 3-all. I don't know whether he went. No, it went 3-all. Then Mark Williams went 4-3, and that session ended up 5-4. No, sorry. Wu Yize was 3-0 down and then went 4-3 up. So then Mark Williams won the last 2 frames of the session to take a slender lead into tomorrow's play. Neil Robertson was kind of dismantled by Chris Wakeling. I watched a nice bit of this match. It finished just about in time for the evening session start. Neil Robertson and Chris Wakelin. What should we call it? Yeah, but Chris Wakelin kind of dismantled Neil Robertson. Neil Robertson looked all at sea during that match, and Chris Wakelin giving it the fist at the end of the session. And why shouldn't he? He played a very, very good match. And then our final match, Barry Hawkins against Hossein Mufai. Again, I was absolutely glued to the Wilson Lepe fan game, so I didn't see any of this, but it is very finely poised for tomorrow. I will just see what matches are upcoming, what the order of play is for tomorrow. We also had an email from Brian McGovern, which I will read out. But in the morning, the main focus, I think, for all the broadcasters is Jack Jones against Zhao Xingtong, because what a match that promises to be. Last year's runner-up against the amateur, who really shouldn't be an amateur, the former UK champion, who is an amateur. That is going to be a very intriguing match indeed. Zhao Gudong and Matt Sells come to a conclusion there as well. That's looking good, as I say, for Zhao Gudong. Mark Allen gets his championship underway against Fan Zhengyi. That is a repeat of the 2023 first round, where the protester almost got onto their table. It got onto the table of another one got onto the table of where table 1, where Joe Perry and Robert Milkins were playing, but Olivier Martile managed to wrestle what, to be fair, did look like quite an old woman off of the table there. So that's a repeat of that match. Hopefully there'll be no disruption to that one. And also in that session, Mark Williams against Wu Yize will surely be the focus of everybody in the afternoon session, because that is finally poised to bring a great result. And then we have two matches for you in the... Why did I say we have two matches for you? I have absolutely nothing to do with this. There are two matches in the evening. Neil Robertson and Chris Wakelin. As I say, Chris Wakelin, a commanding lead 7-2. I can't see Neil Robertson turning it around unless he gets some absolutely massive inspiration, which I doubt he will get. And Barry Hawkins, Hossein Mufai, the match that I would choose to watch. I don't know if they'll show the Wakelin Robertson game, just so they can show a bit of both. That might be what the broadcasters end up doing, showing the end of Chris Wakelin against Neil Robertson, and then switching over to Barry Hawkins, Hossein Mufai, considering they have shown the first session of that match, the Robertson Wakelin match. And there's also quite a lot more to run, it looks like, in the Hawkins Mufai match, so you never know. But that's all coming up for you, for us tomorrow. I'll just enter the wonders of email. Brian McGovern emailed in. I know I'm talking like an absolute motor mouth, but I have to get up at 6 o'clock and it's currently 11:45. I want to go to bed. Brian McGovern emailed in just as the first session was starting this morning. He says, "Hi Fionn, hope you're enjoying the World Championship. In reply to this email, in reply to this email on your last episode, in reply to your last episode asking if anybody is watching the World Championship on TNT via Sky, there is a red button option to watch the other table. Just confirming what you have already mentioned. Enjoy the tournament. Best regards, Brian McGovern." Right, so I'm not watching on Sky. Well, I'm watching the BBC coverage on Sky. I am allegedly, this isn't the right use of allegedly, but I don't want to dot myself in. I am allegedly using the dodgy box to watch the TNT coverage, if I do watch any of it, which I doubt I will. I will, for the most part, be watching on the BBC iPlayer. But yeah, I watched a little bit. It was on TNT 6. I'm pretty sure it's on TNT 6 again tomorrow. I'll double check this. Or TS6 schedule. We'll check that for the 19th. So Sunday, the 20th of April. Yep, it's on TNT Sports 6 if you're having a look. All three sessions are on there. I must say, I had a look at the TNT Sports coverage just at the end, and it did look very well. The studio looks very nice. The kind they I was wondering whether they'd put the Eurosport or the TNT branding on. They kind of put neither on, but made it the TNT purple. But I think that their studio always looks very well. So yeah, that's all from me. I think keep your emails coming in. cuethechat@gmail.com. There was something else. Oh yeah, the set is looking very nice this year. It must be said. It's looking a little dark, but I very much like it. The walk-ons actually was something I wanted to bring up. The walk-ons, they've changed it. They walk on from a bit further back because they have the digital screen back there. Oh, I'm a fan of the digital screen. I'm not a fan of where they're walking on from, because I think of all the walk-ons over the last 10 years, 10, 15 years that I've been watching snooker, like all of the big matches in the Crucible have always started with the player like standing there still as a statue, or else kind of like pacing around that door. Like that door, like this is the most niche shit you'll ever hear, but like that door is kind of intrinsic to the beginning of any World Championship match. You're watching the player, how they're feeling in front of that door, and the door now is kind of just walk past. It kind of takes away from the kind of set they build inside the backstage with all the lights, all the posters. I think it just takes away from it a little bit. But if you have any niche topics like that you want to talk about, email in cuethechat@gmail.com. Don't forget you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think we have a Facebook. Yeah, so there's plenty going on. I'm going to get this out and going to go very much to sleep. Well done to Lepe Fan. Commiserations to Karen Wilson. It must be said, if Lepe Fan had managed to lose that, I would have started this podcast off with how has he managed to lose it. But yeah, no shame for Karen Wilson losing in the opening round. He's had an amazing season, and let's hope for more drama like that across the 17 days. I'll be back with you in a couple of days, but until then, keep safe, and I will see you then. Adios.